All right, welcome back into Market Day Report. I still am Scott Shelley, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us. And why don't we take you through these markets and see if anything's changed since we last visited them. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on in corn. I'll bring that up behind my big head. 12.5 cents higher in that July. That stands at 6.16 3/4. And again, that's about 7 cents off the highs, and we're about, 8 cents off the lows. So we're right in the middle of the day's range there. 12.25 cents higher, that's July. Now, go out to the D's, that's 14 3/4 cents higher. 5.45 1/4 last, trying to sniff that 5.50 level. We failed by 2.5 cents. The high is 5.47 1/2, and right now we're 4.5 cents from 5.50 at 5.45 1/2, up 15 cents. All right, that's corn for you. That's a good board. All right, that's not too bad. Let's take a look and see what soybeans have got in store for us. Well, the fronts are down, the backs are up. We don't see the demand in the front right now. July is down 9 3/4 cents to 13.76 3/4. Got a penny loss in the August to 12.95 even. But as you go out the deferreds, we start to gain. We're 4 1/4 cents higher. And that NOVE contract, 12.08 1/2 is last as we try to hang on to that $12 line. But you've got that July NOVE spread, that's come in by 13 3/4 cents. So there you go. That's a pretty big mover for that spread. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. But again, the back's higher, the front's lower in soybeans. Let's move along and see the wheat market. Let's start with Chicago wheat. That's up between 2 and 4 cents, I guess. July's up 2 cents, 6.32 1/4 last there. You go out to the D, that's up 2 3/4 cents, now just 2 cents to 6.60 even. So that's not a bad board. Again, just steadily a little bit better. We'll take it. And then if we move from Chicago to Kansas City, let's take a look at that wheat. It's off around what? Oh, well, we're up a 0.5 cent way out in May, but let's talk in the front. July's down 2 cents to 7.95 3/4. We lost the 8 handle there. Dace is down 3 1/4 cents to 7.89 1/2. So we're off between, say, in the front 4, 1.5 to 3 1/4 cents lower there. Moving from Kansas City to Minneapolis, let's take a look at the spring wheat. That's the same, but just not as much, right? 1/4 cent lower, 1 tick lower in the July, 8.11 1/2 is that. It's quiet. 8.11 1/2 is last. And then if you go out to the D, that's up 1/4 to 8.17 3/4. So that's really quiet as we speak. And finally, we'll take a look at cotton. What's going on there? And we'll get to our next guest analyst. 38 points lower in that July cotton to 83.66. And the East is down 46 points to 81.36. Let's bring in Todd Bubba Horowitz from Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. Todd, thanks for being on the line. All right, what do you think here, brother? I mean, we got over WASD, we had some weather, and now it looks like they didn't get what they wanted.
Well, it looks like corn looks pretty solid, right? I mean, we're seeing, a fairly good rally. You were up at one time 15 cents, up about 10 now. Look, I think the bottoms have been put in. How fast we recover and go back up, that's a story for weather. That's a story for other things. That's a story for markets in general. But I think the lows are in. And I think the one concern we have now is the deflationary scenario. I mean, you look at Saudi Arabia, who cut oil production twice, and crude's getting hammered, which is not a good sign because it's showing a lack of demand. People aren't using it. So there's a lot of, as we said all along, Scott, there's a lot of things in this economy that are ugly and don't make sense. And I think that, look, it looks like we've made bottoms, but certainly I don't know how fast we're going to go running up higher from here either.
Well, you're right. And that's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't story when you bring up the crude oil like that. You're right. It's getting hammered today by about $2.50. We're back in that range where the government says they're going to try to recover what they've got let go in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. But it's down because the market doesn't believe we're going to have the market. I mean, they don't believe we're going to have the demand. They don't believe the economy is going to hold in there. So that's a negative. Now, if you want to see a spike in crude oil prices, well, we get back up to the 80-85 level from where we're at right now, 67 and change. That's going to be inflationary, and then that's going to cause the CPI to rise, and the Fed's going to have to raise interest rates, and back down we come again. I mean, either way, it's not good, is it?
No, look, the bottom line is that if we could once get real, straight, honest numbers that were really reflect what's going on in the economy, then we would see where we really stand. The problem is that a CPI at 5.2 is ridiculous. A CPI should be about 15 or 20. We know that inflation is dramatically higher than it's being reported. We know that now the Fed, although potentially going to pause on Wednesday, with the stronger economic data, whether you believe in it or not, they may be forced to continue to hike. I mean, I think they're going to continue to hike whether they pause in June and wait till July, or they just keep going straight through. They're going higher.
Oh,
That's for sure.
They're using the word skip right now, so I guess that's the new lexicon. All right, stay right there. We got to go away. We got to pay some bills. We'll come back to talk more with Todd Bubba Horowitz and Bubba Trading, Las Vegas. We'll be right back after this. All right, talking about meat prices over the break. Man, boy, things have been really, really high. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on. Speaking of meat, let's take a look at live cattle, and they are high as well. Look at this. We got some good gains. August is up $1.62 to 173.47. That's just about 12 cents off the highs there, folks. And we've got a D-Sport up $1.47 to 179.25, and that too is about 12 cents from the highs. All right, that's live cattle. Now we're going to have a struggle. We're going to have a little bit of a problem with feeders because we got a higher corn board. But boy, oh boy, this has come back, right? It's not high, not that high, steady, a little bit better, but it's fighting the higher corn board. So this is showing some great strength in the face of that higher corn board. That's good. August is up 22 cents. Well, it's good if you're a producer, I guess. 239.22 is last there. And that's close to the highs by about, what, 42 cents. You go out to the Nove, that's 85 cents higher to 245.42. So there you go. That's made a turnaround. How about lean hogs? They put it low in a couple weeks ago, looks like to me. We're $2.92 higher in July. 92.55 is last up there. And we've got an October board up $2.27 to 77.65. Let's bring back in Bubba Trading's Todd Horowitz. He's in Las Vegas. All right, Todd, what are your thoughts here when it comes to the meats?
Well, I mean, obviously we know cattle is going to continue higher, and in spite of higher feed costs, because there's not enough of them. So that we know there's a shortage, and not that we're going to go skyrocketing much higher than we are. I mean, we're at all-time highs now. But I think that hogs have suddenly come to life, right? We're just in the high 70s, low 80s. Now we're over 90. So I think that hogs are showing that that's really where people are going for their protein, and I look for them to continue to go higher. You know, today we're up, $2 or so, almost $3. I would expect, probably a little bit of a pullback, but I think every pullback now in the hogs is probably a buying opportunity.
Yeah, that's all. It's definitely interesting. All right, really appreciate you coming on board. Great way to start the week off. Todd Horowitz, Bubba Trading in Las Vegas.